no halt. Tootie talk sense, keep the culture on vault. Politics, humor, mix it raw in the stew. Breaking down the news like she's slicing a cube. Come on, y'all, let's discuss, that's the frame. Dropping hitters, Tootie's putting lames to shame. Hilarious for real, got the nation on the buzz. Got them tuning in like they addicted to the love. She the queen of the
Yeah, hey, welcome to 2D Toxins. I don't know why this is not. Uh, 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 duh, duh, duh. Let me make my stream big because I am not gonna be in here long. I just want to see what y'all think about that Jussie Smollett documentary, and it says the truth about Jussie. I still don't feel like it's the truth yet, but what y'all feel about it? Let me know. And right away, I'm dropping a link because I'm only going to be in here for no more than 30 minutes that I'm going to be in here for. I don't even know if we're going to get to 30 minutes. But let me make myself bigger. Let me check my audio, see if y'all can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Now, I told y'all, right, that I had watched it's a Jussie Smollett documentary on Peacock. So I had watched that one before this one even came out. And so I said from that one to me, I'm like, they didn't really, and it was 2 episodes. I said, they ain't really tell you nothing. They didn't go into the trial, what evidence was presented, nothing like that. Like they talked to the superintendent, who's I want to say Eddie Johnson is his name, but don't, it may not be. I don't know. But don't quote me on that. And I want to say it's Eddie is the black guy who was over the Chicago police at the time that this happened. Now they had him, and he was already on the news when this happened and how upset he was with Jesse about it. Now that was the first documentary, 2 episodes, and I was like, this didn't really tell me shit. So I was excited about the truth about Jussie Smollett, because, of course, this is the first time that Jussie is actually speaking since it happened. And I thought it was going to be like his point of view, and they was going to give us more evidence and things like that. Now, for me, it did give me more evidence of stuff that I did not know about, because I can't remember if the actual, I don't believe it was. I don't believe the actual case was televised. But I remember seeing the judge reading him once he got convicted and the judge giving him the sentence. I remember saying that, but if it was televised, I did not watch the entire thing. So I thought that this documentary would go more into the case as far as what was presented and why. And maybe that evidence will be like, okay, that's why the jury found him guilty. Now, just a little background on the case. Jussie alleged that he was getting an unaliving threats through the mail while he was working on Empire. He reported that, and not much came out of it. So then he said while he was in Chicago, and it's the day of the polar vortex, which is like one of the coldest days in Chicago. And he said that he walked to Subway, and somebody yelled out like Empire or something like that. As that, ain't you that Empire nigga? And then it's 2 white guys. One had on a MAGA hat. They beat him up. They jumped him, hit him, called him N-word. And did they say MAGA for life? Now that's just me adding shit. They said something. Oh, they called him the F word, F-A-G-G, So they called him that. Call him an N-word and call him a F-A-G-G, right? Put a rope around his neck and threw bleach on him. He walked home and he ended up reporting it. I'm still trying to see if y'all can hear me. That's what I'm doing with my, while y'all see me being all distracted. So The police investigated. Chicago police investigated. When the cop first, it came out right away. The news started reporting right away that um, you could tell right away that the police didn't believe him. It was immediate that the police did not believe Jussie, that this what happened to Jussie. But support from you know actors, actresses from Hollywood, big Hollywood, black Hollywood, white Hollywood, support was pouring in for him. And of course, this was the Trump era with the MAGA going on. Trump commented on it and said, that's a horrible thing if it happened. So it was a big, big, big deal. Chicago police end up saying that it was a hoax. They got two Nigerian brothers who said that Jussie paid them to do it because initially it was like because they didn't take the hate mail he was receiving seriously. That was one thing I heard. Then I heard it was because his character was dying off. Then I heard it was because the pay to increase his pay on Empire. So that was the thing. They end up having a check for 3,500 and said that's what Jussie paid them in order to do this. And they testified against Jussie. And first, Kim Fox was the state's attorney at this time. Now, the Chicago police didn't like Kim Fox. And there was a problem that initially the case was dropped. It was he agreed to pay $10,000 and do some community service. The case will be dropped. Kim Fox ended up removing herself from the case. A new attorney comes in, prosecute Jussie. This when Jussie go to court, he get found guilty. Then the judge sentenced him, and that's when he said he told the judge, I respect your decision, but I would not be my mama's son if I did this. I am not guilty. I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal. So then he do 6 days. I want to say it was like 100 and plus days sentence he was supposed to do, but he only ended up doing 6 days. They release him. His lawyers take the case back to court, and he end up and the appeals court end up throwing out the conviction because pretty much it's double jeopardy. You can't. The judge just made the decision that he shouldn't have never got tried the second time because pretty much y'all already pleaded him out. So it's kind of double jeopardy. If you try him the second time for the exact same charges, you can't do that. So you should have not bleeded them out the first time. Then after that, too bad, so sad, too bad, you know. So that was the thing, y'all. Now, in this documentary, let me make sure. Okay. So now in this documentary, it goes through the case, right? And then they have Jussie talking. So if y'all remember, they were saying that Jussie is saying this happened, but he walked home with the rope around his neck, and the rope was around his neck when he came in. So that was one of Jussie's first things, that he did not walk home with no rope around his neck. He took the rope off, and he told the officer, I just got this. I put this back on just so y'all can see. I'm trying to demonstrate to y'all the way that they put the rope around my neck. But he was like, that's a lie. They fed that to the press. They fed that to the media, and that's a lie. That did not happen that way. So that was one thing. Then what else happened, y'all? I want to make sure I'm not talking too fast. So y'all know I get to talking too fast, and I forget everything. Don't forget, y'all, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share this video out so I can get more subscribers. Come on, follow me on all social media as well. Now, chair. So after that, he said that the rope thing didn't happen, right? Then he said that it was being reported because it was Chicago. It was 2:00 in the morning. It was a polar vortex. Was nobody else outside. Everybody who watched the channel, y'all see the background. Chicago, born and raised, baby. Still here. Now, I was like, if you're not from Chicago, you hear polar vortex, you like, oh yeah, ain't nobody outside, especially trying to get no subway. But yeah, there is. Baby, people will still be jogging in Chicago in a blizzard. White people will still be out there walking their little foo-foo dogs and stuff. Like, people still going to work. Things ain't shutting down. Stuff is still open. Yeah. And so he said that was another thing that was being reported, that nobody was outside and it was just Jussie. And everybody like, oh, ain't nobody going to get no subway at no 2 o'clock in the morning. Then they showed a video. I had never seen a video before. They showed a video of him buying a sub in the subway. There was actually 4 other people in the subway. Like, he wasn't the only other. And I said, first of all, you got to know there was other people outside because somebody was working at the subway. But he was like, the thing was, he wasn't leaving to get Subway. He was actually leaving to go to Walgreens, because that was the 24-hour Walgreens. But because of the polar vortex that closed, Subway was the only thing that was open. So he went to Subway to get something to eat, because I think he had came from somewhere and he didn't have food in the house. So he just went there to get something to eat. Now that was another thing that the news was reporting. He wasn't the only person out. So then you start seeing on the news where they say that this something else that I didn't know. One of the brothers actually had actually been in jail for attempted unaliving of somebody. So why they suspected the brothers is because there's no video of the actual attack, which for me is weird because that's a affluent neighborhood. There's usually videos everywhere in the affluent neighborhood. Besides, it's a affluent neighborhood. It's filled with businesses. There's hotels, high-end, high-rise penthouses, all in the neighborhood. So for there to be no, like, that one street is the street where there was no cameras. In this new documentary, they said it was one camera on that street, but that one camera was pointed in a different direction. So that's why there's no video of the attack. But then they say, well, how they end up finding out it was the brothers is because, uh, according to Jussie, these 2 suspects, who Jussie said was white men, it was 2 white men, because they had on the ski mask, but all this part was open, and you can see their face. Well, you can see their skin. You can see their skin and eyes, and it was a white man. So they said, so they looked at cameras going that direction and just see who was out and see 2 people walking and that they pick up. So they end up picking up these 2 people who they say are the Nigerian brothers, right? They pick these 2 people up and they got cameras of these 2 people that you can't tell in any camera who these people are. But these are all, they got footage on damn near every block except the block that it happened on. But they got footage on damn near every block of these 2 people who they are saying are the brothers. Then they had the what you call the records of them calling the Uber, the records of them going back home, and they got video footage all the way up. I think it until like a block from their house. They got video footage of the ride of them. Blah blah blah. That's how they end up saying it was these brothers. The brothers took a flight to Nigeria the next day, so they arrested the brothers when they got back to Chicago. And initially the brothers wouldn't talk. Then why they had them, because they could hold them for 48 hours. So while they had them held for the 48 hours, they went and did a raid on their house, and they found all this firearm, like massive firearm with army style firearm. And so the brother ain't even supposed to be around any firearm, let alone this stuff. So he's in deep shit. Manu, he didn't get charged with anything. He didn't get charged with any of the firearm, anything. So that's when the brothers end up testifying against Jussie. They called their lawyer. The lawyer come down. He testified against Jussie. They say Jussie paid them $3,500 for this attack, and because the younger brother, both of them was extras on Empire. But I want to say the younger brother actually hung out with Jussie, where he had some type of relationship with Jussie. Now, let's see. Let's see what the first thing. So the night that it happened, there was 2 eyewitnesses. I didn't know this. I'm fanning this out from the documentary. The documentary is only an hour and something, y'all. But there was two eyewitnesses. One was the security guard at the Sheraton Hotel, another high end hotel, and the other was, you can tell, an elderly rich white lady walking her foo dog. I told you they be out there with the foo dog. They don't care how cold it is. So she said she actually lived in the same building as Jussie. She said that she went outside because she had to take her dog out for the last time for the night, and she was noticing that there was a man just like across the street, but wasn't doing nothing. But he's standing outside across the street when it's this cold. She said it was a white man, and she seen that he had a rope hanging out the back pocket. And she said she noticed him because she old, she's a woman, she's out late, and the guy was very suspicious. So that's why she took notice of him. And the security guard at Sheraton, he said he was out doing his roundabouts, his routine where he got to go check stuff or whatever. And he seen this man, but he shined his light in the man's face, like because he heard him, and then he shined the light in the man's face, and it was a white man. But that he continued on, and so the security guard continued on. Now, part of the prosecutor thing was that all these videotapes that they do show the security guard going to the door, right? And the security guard going to the door. Then, okay, so the story happened. So then they began to investigate. One, it's this journalist who started to investigate, and then the family hired another person, another journalist to investigate. She said she started to investigate knowing that he was guilty. She said, but then the conviction that the family had made her change her mind. It was like, all right, I'll go ahead and investigate. So they request all the videos that the police had to say that, these brothers did it, and that's where it was. So the video that the security guard said, he said that it should clearly show that it was a white man because he shined the flashlight, so it should clearly show it's a white man. So when they request these videos and they get the video, that video, 10 seconds of the video is missing. So they show the video and they show the man walking to the door, then 10 seconds is deleted, and then the man is outside. So that 10 seconds supposed to show where he shines the light on the white guy and his face, but it's deleted. They make a reference to the Chicago police and how crooked the Chicago police is. You're from Chicago, everybody from Chicago know, especially black. Chicago police, it's some of the crookedest people. That not all of them, but the bad ones, baby, I bet. I remember growing up in like maybe the 90s, the early 2000s. The police would literally take black men and drop them off, and like if they can't find nothing on you, no drugs or anything like that, either they'll plant it on you because sometimes everybody know the dope boys in the neighborhood. So police know them too. If that's your area that you work, you know them too. So when they get mad and can't find nothing on you, they'll plant it on you if they ain't got nothing on you. And then they will take black guys. I didn't know this personally. They done took black guys and they would drop them off in like Humble Park. They would drop them off in Hispanic neighborhoods where I don't know if it's still going on, but during that time, if you was a black male in a Hispanic neighborhood, it's a chance you won't make it out. Okay, because they gonna either, what Michael say, or they will beat you. You know what I'm saying? So they would literally take black guys from their neighborhood and drop them off in the Hispanic neighborhood so they can get beat up or unalive. They would do that. And so then in the Laquan McDonald case, that's where the police officer was going around to businesses. They had lied about, unaliving this young boy who was shot 7 times. It was 16, 17 times that the police shot him. But then they lied that he was charging at him with a knife. But once they finally released the video, you will see that he was walking away. They end up shooting him. And I want to say at least 6 times he was shot, that he was down on the ground when he was shot. And they went to the different businesses around the neighborhood that the incident happened and made those businesses give them the videotapes and deleted the videotapes. So like besides, they messed with evidence and they did a lot of crooked shit in the Laquan McDonald case. So they brought up that case just to show the history of Chicago police and that they have a history of hiding evidence when it doesn't go with the narrative they want to tell or with the story that they told, they'll just fucking delete the evidence. So they brought that out up during the time that they was talking about this 10 seconds of video is deleted. And you can see they go through the timer and you see where it's clearly seconds of the video is deleted. That's true. Um, let's see what else happens in there. So they also have the brother talking. They have different cops talking. The brothers come on. Oh, the brothers are awful. Absolutely awful. I said this why they didn't make it in Hollywood because these brothers are absolutely horrible actors. Horrible. It was just like in it, like you could just. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, who gave them this trip? Because, and not saying that it wasn't a hoax, but I'm saying that this part on camera was completely the brothers wanting spotlight the some scripted things that the brothers wanted to get done. Them looking in the camera, y'all. At the end, they talking about how they making a book right now. Couldn't even remember the title of the book. Could not get the title of the book right. But in the documentary, they show how once these brothers get arrested and said they was a hoax, how they went on this whole media thing and they was on like Fox News. They was on a lot of Republican led stations because Jussie had said it was MAGA. So they all, these brothers got a lot of showtime, a lot of video time because of that he was lying, blah, blah, blah. And let me see, what else happened? Oh, so I told you about the guns and how he didn't get charged with that because he was just got released for attempted unaliving. If he got caught with guns and charged with that, he would have did some time. So that was that. Also, it was the Kim Fox thing at that time. Kim Fox absolutely was hated by the cops, especially by the superintendent, the black guy Eddie. So they was trying to get her out anyway. And actually, after this case was used against her to try to, she ended up just deciding not to run again when her term was up. But yeah, this was definitely used against her. This case was. Then what else? Eddie was also found after this case. He was found lying his damn self. Eddie was caught asleep in a car, right? And he told them he was having some type of medical episode. But they found out he was lying because they saw the video. The video came out of him in a bar drinking. So he was pretty much just driving drunk. I said, but at least he did pull over to sleep it off. Now, also the officers who investigated this case, they said it was 38 different officers that investigated this case. There's a total of over 500 different complaints from these officers, and a total that the city ended up paying over $5 million from these officers doing wrong. The first officer, they said one of the first officer on the scene when Jussie reported this also has a complaint about his homophobic and racist discrimination, harassment of a black man. That was also something. So let me think. What else, y'all? I'm trying to go through the whole documentary or everything that they said. So let's see. It was that. It was that. I think I got it all. There was one video of all the videos of these two men running past on cameras that they said are the brother. There's one video that it was actually in color because the rest of it is just two figures, two dark figures that you see. There was one video that was actually in color that they end up showing everybody to ask what was their opinion on, are these two guys black or are they white? So all the cops, of course, said they was black, but between the two eyewitnesses, the older white lady said they was white. The security guard said they was black, but they wasn't asking them, are these the brothers? Because to me, whether they were black or white wouldn't matter if it ain't the two brothers. But that ain't the question that they asked. Because to me, the guy who had the mask, his where you could actually see his face, the first guy who walked past the camera in this color shot, that they say are the two brothers, but other people are saying are two white men. He I know one of the brothers is shorter and one is tall and slim. They both very muscular, but this guy looked fat. He looked muscular. He looked fat. It's a Chicago winter. He probably had on a lot of layers and stuff like that, so it could present. But even if it was even if it was a black guy, for the people who said it was black, the brothers are dark skinned. If there was a black guy, it was a light skinned black guy. Definitely wasn't a dark skinned black guy. So I was like, to me, that's the only thing that was like, I don't know. Then also they did a DNA test on the rope. I said, I never heard this. They did a DNA test on a rope that, Jussie had around his neck that Jussie said that they put around his neck. They did a DNA test and the DNA did not come back as either brother. It did come back as two different males, but neither one of the DNA matched the brother. Now, I do remember during this trial, they did have, and I tried to Google it, but it didn't pop up. Y'all let me know if y'all could find it. I thought I seen video of the police release video saying that these are the brothers in the store, in some type of hardware store, buying this rope and buying a hat to tie them to that the brothers are the one who did it. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it. Do y'all think Jussie is different, guilty? And if you've seen this documentary, did it change your mind at all? It changed my mind to I have always thought, because the police was so crooked, there was always a possibility. Even when everybody started denying it, I was like, well, I'm gonna wait and see what comes out, because y'all don't live in Chicago and y'all don't know these police is that like that. It's like, would the police set up this whole thing just to say that Jussie is like, hell yeah, Chicago police is set up the whole thing just to say, it wasn't just for Jussie, it was for Kim Fox too. Yeah, at this time, y'all know Donald Trump was talking about the crime in Chicago, and Chicago was looking bad on the news. Everything, Laquan McDonald, like that, he wasn't the only one in Chicago. Like Chicago police, there was a lot of people actually getting released for like life sentences because there was a well-known, I forget his name, cop in Chicago who got all these convictions due to confessions, and then kind of find out that he made people confess. So like a lot of cases was getting thrown out because of bad confessions from this police officer. So I was like, that was one thing too. Like, so they was like, oh well, because the documentary is implying that the Chicago police, well, Jussie team is implying that the Chicago police did this because they wanted to make themselves look like heroes to the nation and such good cop work. My problem with the whole brothers things is because they was like, well, the brothers was the only two out there. Well, that was a lie. It wasn't. You can see people walking, even in the videos where they says the brothers and they running past, you can see other people walking at the same time. So I'm like, so maybe they meant they was the only two together out there at one time. And even then, they say they followed the video. So you just found two people who was in the direction that Jussie assumed the people ran once they beat him up, allegedly. Once they allegedly beat him up. So that could have been just any two people who's walking together. It's just so happened these brothers got a flight, but I would love to know that. When was this flight paid for? When did they pay for this flight? Because if all this was already set up, wouldn't the flight been paid for, or did they pay for it the night when it happened? Because 3,500 and the tickets was to Nigeria. That ain't even enough to. I don't know if that's enough to cover both their damn plane tickets. 3,500. No. Oh, and also about that. Now, Jussie said the reason why he didn't. He said he initially got attitude from the beginning from the police, especially when they started asking for his phone. And he didn't want to give them his phone because he didn't want everybody to know about his drug use. So I guess he was fucking around with a lot of drugs, getting a lot of drugs and stuff. He said, and that was the check was written for them because the Nigerians was actually getting illegal drugs. You see how big and stuff their muscles was. They had access to steroids. Well, I don't know if they were steroids. Jussie said it was medicine, the injection medicine that you can take that burns your stomach fat. and makes you where you have no stomach. It burns all the fat in your abdominal area. So he said he paid them for those drugs for that. That was what the check was for. Trying to think anything else that I'm missing out that if y'all watch the documentary. I'm trying to think is anything else that I miss. Cause it was like I said, it's only like an hour and maybe 20 minutes or something like that. That I'm like, to me, it casts doubt. Now, I'm not saying that, oh, Jussie did not do this. There's always a possibility that, yes, he did it. I wouldn't know why. But I mean, a lot of people commit crimes that makes no sense. That maybe he thought well, most people commit crimes, think they're going to get away with it. If he thought he was going to get away with it, and this will somehow propel his career, even though it was the height of empire. Like his career was, I didn't see Jussie in much before this, and his career have definitely taken a hit up after this. They did show how he's getting back out there. He's trying to start back acting and things like that. That they did show that after this happened, he did have more people coming to his concert. He did have more people supporting him. So I'm trying to get y'all both sides of the story. Okay, I ain't trying to just give you Jussie. I'm trying to get y'all both sides of the story because the documentary does go into both sides of what the police say, because they have a couple of cops out there, and about what Jussie said. Now that I wouldn't be my mama's son. I was just like, what the fuck they got to do with anything? Yeah, I didn't know this. Jussie mama was a Black Panther. That's why he's saying I wouldn't be my mama's son if I did something like this. And then also what a lot of people it ain't funny. What what a lot of people remember is the gay Tupac. Because they did do the show the interview that he did afterwards, because he was like he didn't really want to do the interview, but he did the interview afterwards. They didn't show him saying he the gay Tupac. I was waiting for it, but they didn't show it. But that wasn't they said that's something that, because his mom, you know how Tupac spoke, well, initially when he came out, like the Black empowerment and things that Tupac used to speak about. And Jussie mom being a Black Panther, Jussie was one of the kids who always was talking about like Black empowerment and things like that. And the family used to call him Gay Tupac. And that's why he said that, is one of the things. That's not in a documentary. I was watching Higher Learning, and Van knows somebody in his family, and somebody in his family told Van that. So that's where I'm getting that information for. If y'all watching the documentary, that won't be in a documentary. That's just something I seen. Now, y'all drop down. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this whole thing. Do you still think that Jussie is lying? Or do you think it's a possibility that the police made a deal with these brothers, and these brothers went and not came up with the story? Because they don't. I'm not. I ain't never seen a report card, right? But if I had to assume, I wouldn't think they'd have brought his bug up in the pack. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if the elevator go all the way up. They seem so dense. And it ain't even, I can't even say they, because the oldest one don't even talk. And I think that's the one who had the charges on him. And I've been saying from the beginning, the oldest one is always looking at the younger one like, don't say too much. Don't this. He just be looking at them like, reel it in, motherfucker. Reel it in. The youngest one typically one. I don't even know if the oldest one talked at all in this documentary. Besides trying to correct what's the title of the book. And I think they both got it wrong and still couldn't tell you the title of this book that they're coming out with. But I believe that it's all, y'all. I think that's all before I get out of here. I'm trying to make sure I wrapped it all up for y'all before, and I didn't leave out anything. Security gun. Yeah. Cause did y'all hear about the all these the guns and stuff, the firearms being found with the brothers? Cause I didn't know that part. I didn't know about these two eyewitnesses. I didn't know about that. And I'm like, and I do give it both sides. I said, because with the witnesses, I don't know if the security guard came forward that night, but I know the older white woman came forward the next day because she said she heard about it on the news. And she was like, "Oh, I don't know Jussie." She said, "I didn't see him a couple of times. He will say hi." She said, "But when she heard about it on the news, she was like, oh, that probably was the guy that I seen." Because on the news, it tells you about the rope and everything. She's like, that probably was the guy she seen. So she made a police report. You know, she went and told the police what she seen. Also, the security guard, he said he told the police from the beginning that it was a white guy that he seen that night. And when they brought him in to do a lineup, a picture lineup to pick out the person that he thought it was that he seen, it was all black guys. And he told the police, "I can't pick out anybody because I already told y'all that it was a white dude that I seen." The police was like, "Well, just pick out anybody, just pick out somebody anyway. Who would be the closest to what you seen at night?" He was like, "Well, he said." So he picked out the lightest people who was on the lineup. So he didn't end up picking out the brothers, but he said he picked out the lightest people who was on the lineup because he told them that the gas was white. So, and you bring me a whole lineup for the black guys, I can't pick out anybody. But they insisted that he picked somebody from this lineup. So he picked out the lightest guys that he seen, y'all. I think that's it. Let me think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And that is about it. I don't know. I know everybody. And that's why you see in my description, unpopular opinion. Jussie might be innocent. I know everybody still like Jussie ass is lying. Oh, that's one thing that a lot of people find funny. They said the sandwich, it was in pristine condition. If you out here fighting, you gonna fight and you gonna pick up that sandwich, and the sandwich ain't beat up or nothing. That's what the police officer said when he went to Jussie, or on the camera or something. I think on the camera when he's going back in his building. And they was like, this the sandwich was in pristine shape. So how this sandwich is still in shape. I said, first of all, if he got hit or whatever, first it probably dropped first. You need your hands to fight, because he said he fought back. That's why he the gay Tupac, because he just didn't take it land. He was like, he wouldn't have picked up the sandwich. Who wouldn't have picked up a sandwich that I didn't walked out 2 o'clock in the morning in this polar vertex and got my ass beat? You think I ain't finna pick up that sandwich? And you think I'm not finna take this? I'll pick my big back ass and picking up that sandwich. I'm taking that sandwich with me. I ain't gonna do all this for nothing. Got to get this foot long, $5 foot long. Okay, then what else, y'all? I believe that's it. Yeah. So to me, I was like, the only evidence, unless they could find new video that actually shows like what happened, or actually show if we can get this clear of these two men that you are saying are the brothers, if we could get clear video. And if I was Jussie people, I would go, but like I said, that's why they refer to uh McDonald, uh, Laquan McDonald, because I'm like, if you get your private investigators go to these businesses and ask for, the videos for that day. But Chicago police got a history of going to the business and deleting videos. So I'm like, I don't think there'd be a way to definitely prove, or the DNA from the rope. I wonder, was it even ran through the system, to see if these people, because they doing shit like this, they already ran it. They ran it and tested it against the brothers, so they know it's not the brothers' DNA. So I'm like, did you just drop it in the system to see if you get any hits and to see what come back from that? I wonder. It does not say in the documentary if they did that, but I'm like, I think that'll be a good idea. Then you would know. Um, I don't know, y'all. I don't know, but y'all drop down in the comments. Let me know how y'all feel about it. I'm finna get on up out of here. I got stuff to do tonight. Y'all know it's Taco Tuesday. I already cooked my ground beef tacos, my ground turkey tacos, and me some steak tacos because I love some tacos. Got my Puerto Rican rice. I'm finna eat that, feed these kids. I think trying to get my baby to go to basketball practice. But I'm finna get up out of here. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. I will catch y'all next time. Bye.
Scroll in the tube, found a star in the chaos. Judy spitting facts like a modern day seance. Trending waves, politics in the spotlight. Raw with the wit, hits you sharp like a frostbite. Come on y'all, let's discuss her anthem, her creed. Breaking down the drama, uncovering the greed. Laugh through the truth, it's enlightenment with flair. Judy talks sense, ain't no nonsense over there. Come on, we tuned into Judy's